very good day, friends. My name is Rohan Sequeira, and I'm here at the V Lounge, an initiative of the PGDM DLB division of Wellinkers. I'm sitting here today at the very swanky office of the Mobile Store Limited. Now, the Mobile Store Limited is India's countrywide chain of retail outlets for mobile phones. They own and offer various services and mobile phones, accessories, value-added services like wallpapers, games. They even collect bills and of course are a complete one-stop solution for your mobile phone requirement needs. This company, formerly known as the SR Telecom Limited, and is a subsidiary of SR Global Limited. Founded in 2007, it's fronted at the helm by a very dynamic CEO, a person, of course, who I'm going to introduce to you in a very short while from now. But I'd like to let you know a little bit about this very interesting personality, someone who's a big name on the Indian business scenario. Ladies and gentlemen, having joined the mobile store in 2007, he was earlier working with Trent's leisure retail format, Landmark, having joined them in November 2000. A person with an academic background of IIT Kanpur and then having graduated in management from the IIM Bangalore. There's a lot of interesting things to learn about this person. So well, without any further ado, it's now time that I introduce you to the person in the spotlight, Mr. Himanshu Chakrabarti, the CEO of the Mobile Store. Thank you very much, sir, for your time here and being with us on V Lounge.
Thank you, Ryan.
So it's very interesting. I've heard lots about you, and I'm sure everybody here would love to know a lot more about you. So I'd like to get started by knowing, how has your professional journey here at the mobile store been so far?
It's been very exciting. It's been a bit of a difficult patch for the simple reason that this company was hurting for the first 3-4 years. It went through a phase, first 2 years, which is 2006, 2007, 2008, when it expanded rapidly, and of course in the expansion phase did make losses. Then 2009, 10 and 10, 11 is when recession hit, and therefore it went on an overdrive in terms of making sure no more stores were opened, closing some of the stores and ensuring that some of the other things were brought under control, but it continued to make huge losses. And when I walked in 2 years back, the big challenge was in terms of the sustainability of the business to ensure that it turns profitable from being huge loss making. So it's been a difficult exercise. It's in the midst of a very exciting category, so that's the excitement. But then businesses have to be run profitably, and that's been the biggest challenge. Yeah.
Great. In fact, we're just going to come to this in a little while from now, but right now we'd like to get started with something very exciting, of course, the start of your career. And I believe I've heard something very interesting, that you started off with Lakme as a management trainee. And I believe that this brilliant idea of introducing sunscreen lotions and sunscreen creams in a very tropical country like ours in India was actually your idea. So we'd love to know more about this.
Yeah, it was. It was quite obvious. It's not just about idea. I think idea can come from anyone, but it was very obvious, and I think many people were always thought as to what can we do with this. At that point of time, I used to have our office in Cuff Parade, Mekatas, and I used to stay in Andheri, and I used to take this train from Andheri to Churchgate, and then take a share cab from there to Cuff Parade. And every day you would, in the summer months, and most of the time in Bombay it is summer, you would curse the sun and the harsh rays, and then you figured out, of course you can't get comfort from it, but you figured out that there's a lot of impact that it has on people. So you start reading, because I was handling skincare, so when you start reading and you see in cooler climes like Europe, there are pages and pages devoted to sunscreens. In a tropical country like India, there was nothing. So I think it was quite obvious, and it met with huge success. We launched a product in 2 sizes, and then of course we progressively launched the 3rd size. We did 60 ml, 120 ml, and then progressively launched the 200 ml. It was a runaway success.
Absolutely fantastic. I mean, it's when a simple idea like that is, brought across to the public, everybody thinks that, oh my gosh, this is so obvious. But of course, it's that one source of inspiration that one person actually brings up an idea like that. And it's really interesting to know how the story actually came about. That's great. All right, I'd like to ask you, after your stint with Hindustan Unilever and Heinz, you joined West Side of the Tata Brigade. So what was it like to come back to a very familiar environment there?
Tata's has been like home, so this has been actually after my management degree, my first job with the Tatas, and I worked for a fairly long period of time. Even when Unilever took a 50% stake, we were in a state of flux, and it was actually only in the last 1.5 years of my stint there when Unilever had acquired all 100%. So I was of course exposed to Unilever, their chase for big dreams, size of the market, organized method in which they worked. But before that, largely 7 years was with Tatas at that point of time. And again, going back to the Tatas, and actually it's the same company. Lakme, after it was sold off, the cosmetics business became Trent Limited on the stock exchange.
Right.
So I was back to the old company with, of course, different management. It was earlier run by Simon Tata. In the second stint when I came back, it was run by Noel Tata.
Right.
Simon Tata was the chairman. But it was like homecoming, and I have deep love and regard for the Tata Group. Majority of my life I worked with them,
Right.
and they're fantastic. So it was exciting to be back there. And the bigger challenge, of course, there for us was that we were getting into a startup mode. In 1998, Trent acquired a brand called Littlewoods,
Okay.
which used to have one store in Bangalore on Commercial Street. And this is Littlewoods of UK. Littlewoods, because of problems in its home territory, was exiting international markets. In India, they had just one store and had signed up a couple of more stores. So 98 to the time I joined, they were just about all put together 4 or 5 stores, and the Littlewoods format had been rechristened as West Side.
Right.
So we were all in a startup mode, and it was fantastic, the amount of learning, the excitement, and retail in India was very nascent. The leader at that point of time was Shoppers Stop,
Right.
who again had I think 4 or 5 stores at that point of time. So there was no Mr. Kishore Biani's format Pantaloons had one major store, which was the store in Calcutta, not Camac Street, but Gadiahat store. So everybody was at a very nascent stage.
True.
And so it was very exciting to really be a part of that, not just the Trent West Side journey, but Indian retail journey from its infancy.